Sunrise and streaming on crossroadstoday.com. An alert leads to a quick response from authorities at a local middle school. And voters get a chance to decide on 17 new state propositions. The impacts they could bring, that's coming up. Plus, young GOP leaders under fire after a leaked group chat. Those details just ahead.
And for the first time in a long time, both cloud cover and rain chances are back in the picture next 48 hours for us. And if that doesn't get you excited, how about 2 cold fronts? We'll talk about all that in the weather coming up.
Victoria West looks to get back a win versus the Bernie Greyhounds tomorrow night. We'll hear from the wide receiver Jared Swanson and running back Andrew Henley later on in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads. Welcome to your Thursday morning. And, well, things are shaping up fall-wise, event-wise. We've got the Uniting Hearts Music Festival. And I'm waiting on that cool front so I can start making those soups, Parker.
Yeah, I thought that's where you were going with that. Yeah, we're starting to slowly look a little bit more fall-like as we head into next week. And actually today, it's going to be a pretty nice day. We'll look at why that is here in just a second. Because to start out the nice day, it's already kind of nice out there right now. Looking cool. 65 in Victoria. Dew point still 2 degrees off at 63. Bringing us that 93% humidity, which would technically be enough to see some form of light fog. But I'm not thinking there's going to be any of that out there this morning, and I'll tell you why here in just a second. You can see lots of us looking pretty nice this morning, low and mid 60s for most of us. Looks like it's mostly mid 60s now, but also on the coast, y'all are still warm, low 70s, because you're right next to that warm Gulf water. But not just that. Here's why we're not seeing fog this morning. You see inland counties are seeing winds out of the east-northeast right now. That's bringing some dry air in, so no fog. But on the coast, they have southeasterly winds. That's why they're warm. And that southeasterly wind is going to be with us all day today, bringing back our humidity. But the day is going to be nice because of cloud cover. So if you're sending your kiddos at the door this morning, no need for sunglasses. It's going to be nice. We'll have all those details next.
Authorities arrested a 14-year-old student at Howell Middle School. It came after a report to harm another student. The Victoria County Sheriff's Office says a school resource officer investigated after being alerted to the threat Wednesday afternoon. They say the student knowingly made the comment and was taken into custody for making a terroristic threat. He was then taken to the Victoria Juvenile Justice Center. No one was hurt and no weapon was found. The city of Seadrift is under a boil water notice. It's due to work on a main isolation valve. Until further notice, all water should be boiled before using it to drink, cook, brush your teeth, or wash your face. Boil it for at least 2 minutes to kill any harmful bacteria. Vulnerable groups like children, seniors, and those with weakened immune systems should be especially cautious. You can also use bottled water instead of boiling tap water. A medical emergency sent an SUV crashing through vendor tents at the Victoria Farmers Market. Witnesses say the SUV clipped a parked truck, knocked over a vendor, and plowed through the information booth. A vendor was taken to the hospital for observation. Witnesses say a teen in the passenger seat turned off the vehicle. The teen then told bystanders his mother suffered a seizure behind the wheel. In just a few weeks, Texans will vote on 17 proposed changes to the state constitution that could impact property taxes. And with early voting around the corner, that's actually within a few days. One proposition would give temporary relief to homeowners recovering from fire damage. Another would boost exemptions for seniors and Texans with disabilities. And a third aims to raise the general homestead exemption, giving most homeowners a bigger break.
As from an educational standpoint, an informed public, because these propositions really guide state government in the direction they want the state to go. So it's very important that they engage with that, read them. If they don't understand exactly what it's going to do or what it means down the road, I've encouraged them to reach out to the office, reach out to the team, and let's get some questions answered for them.
Louderback officially opened his new Victoria office Wednesday with a ribbon-cutting ceremony. He says the space is about building stronger connections with the community. Early voting starts October 20th and runs through the 31st. Election Day is November 4th. A former Victoria County Commissioner is jumping into the race for Justice of the Peace in Precinct 4. With Judge Miller retiring, Clint Ives says now's the time to step up. Backed by years of experience on Commissioner's Court, he points to a record of conservative budgeting, improved public safety, and economic growth. Ives says the JP office is really about helping local residents, from settling disputes to protecting families. The primary election is in March. We turn now to a scandal involving a group chat between young Republicans. ABC's Faith Abube has the latest on those now under fire for hateful messages.
This morning, new fallout after the leak of racist text messages linked to members of young Republican groups across the country. The website Politico says it obtained 7 months' worth of messages from a group chat in which racist and anti-Semitic slurs were used more than 250 times.
It's awful, it's revolting, it's disgusting, it's obnoxious.
Politico says Peter Junta, who was the chair of the New York State Young Republicans, allegedly wrote in a text message, "Everyone that votes no is going to the gas chamber." In another exchange, Junta reportedly responded, "Great. I love Hitler," during a discussion about backing a right-wing candidate. Some Republicans have denounced the language, while Vice President J.D. Vance dismissed the messages as edgy, offensive jokes.
We're not canceling kids because they do something stupid in a group chat.
But reports say at least 8 of the 11 participants in the group chat are between 24 and 34 years old and include a state senator from Vermont and a federal official. Some participants apologizing, while others claim the messages were taken out of context or doctored. California Governor Gavin Newsom is demanding a congressional investigation, but Vice President J.D. Vance says some Democrats have said worse and says there should not be a rush to judgment.
By the way, if they were left-wing kids telling stupid left-wing jokes, I would also not want their lives to be ruined because they're saying something stupid in a private group chat.
Faith Abube, ABC News, New York.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says the federal government shutdown is slowing the U.S. economy. His department estimates the impact is about $15 billion a week. The Federal Reserve Chair says he's starting to worry the shutdown will make it harder for the Fed to do its job. Many experts say that tariffs were starting to put pressure on the U.S. economy even before the shutdown. Reporters left the Pentagon on Wednesday. News outlets were nearly unanimous in rejecting new rules imposed by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. All 5 major broadcast networks issued a joint statement Tuesday saying they are declining to agree to the Pentagon's new requirements, that which would restrict journalists' ability to keep the nation and the world informed of important national security issues. Also saying the policy is without precedent and threatens core journalistic protections. To see local events, come to crossroadstoday.com and view our community calendar. You can learn more about that Uniting Hearts Music Festival or even add your own event. And remember, follow us on YouTube, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. The time now, let's get a look at our clock up here. It's 6:38 on our Thursday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up next on 25 News Now Sunrise. Safety is in the spotlight as communities focus on protecting those traveling on foot.
President Trump confirmed CIA operations in Venezuela, even exploring possible land strikes. I'm Nicole D'Antonio in Washington with the details as the government shutdown enters week 3.
And also coming up next after the break in the short-term forecast, you heard me say today it's going to be a warm one, but rain chances are coming back. So coming up next, I'll tell you just when I think the rain might be here. Well, good morning, Crossroads, and happy Thursday. For your Thursday, you heard me talking about it for the first time in a long time. We have both clouds and also rain chances back in the picture, and here's why. If you tuned in with us last week, not this week, early this week, last week we had talked about a tropical wave that is going to be moving into the Gulf and have a chance at turning into a tropical system. Good news for us, that didn't turn into anything, and even better news, that instead turned into, you can see it right here, a mid-level low pressure system spinning counterclockwise, and that you can already see it bringing a little bit of cloud cover into our area. for today and tomorrow before the sun is back this weekend. And looking at all that on your future tracker, you're going to see all day long we'll be between partly cloudy and mostly cloudy up until the late afternoon time. That was 9 a.m. Here's noontime, still looking partly to mostly cloudy. But like I said, sometime around 3, 4, maybe 5 p.m., we'll start clearing up our clouds, and then we'll look mostly sunny by the late afternoon time, and then we'll look really clear for overnight tonight, and that'll let our low temperatures drop into the 60s again. But tomorrow, like I said, chance for rain is back to 30%, 30 for a few isolated showers around the area. All that thanks to the humidity still streaming into the area with the Gulf winds. But the clouds today, like I said earlier, we're looking for a nice day. I'm thinking, how about that? High of 87, 3 degrees above where we're supposed to be. And everyone else today going to be looking about the same. Highs in the upper 80s, maybe mid 80s on the coast. So I don't know about y'all, but that's pretty nice to me. And we're going to be like that for the next couple days before we're heating up this weekend. And then we have 2 fronts to talk about, and that's coming next.
Victoria West, they're going to battle Bernie this Friday night. I highlighted this game there on Monday, but guess what? They're trying to look back to rebound a big district victory because last week they lost to Alamo Heights there 54-42. And again, they had the offense going, but just couldn't find a way to stop the Mules there on the defensive side. So they're trying to get a big time win against Bernie, who's ranked number 9 right now in Dave Campbell's Texas high school football rankings. And yesterday I had a chance to speak with 2 of the star offensive players for West, and running back Andrew Henley and wide receiver Jared Swanson, about their mindsets going into this big matchup tomorrow night.
In the playoff game, they just came out way harder than us. So we came out slow, and it kind of funneled from there. We just didn't come out hot, and we didn't come out and play like ourselves, and that's something we're going to do this game.
Defense got to step up even more than we did last week. Our defense really has to step up, and we fixed a lot of mistakes that we made last week, and we just got way better.
And both Henley and Swanson, from the beginning part of this year, they kind of told me earlier, just they think they can win a district title this year. And again, it'll be big ways they can beat Bernie this Friday night there on the road. That game's going to start at 7 p.m. This is Max Williams, 25 News Now Sports.
Experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can stream our daily newscast and much more using your connected TV. Just download Crossroads Today Plus on your Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, or Android TV. Search Crossroads Today Plus. This morning, President Trump confirms he's authorizing the CIA operations in Venezuela. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio is in with the details as the president explores the possibility of land strikes inside the country.
This morning, the Venezuelan government is denouncing President Trump after he indicated his administration is exploring land strikes inside the South American country.
Are you considering strikes on land?
Well, I don't want to tell you exactly, but we are certainly looking at land now because we've got the sea very well under control.
Trump now acknowledging he's authorized covert CIA action in the country, escalating a campaign against Venezuela's authoritarian leader, Nicolas Maduro.
No a la guerra!
Maduro lashed back at Trump, saying that he doesn't want the CIA in Venezuela, and what he says is its track record of carrying out coups in Latin America, saying, quote, "How long will CIA coups continue?" It comes after the U.S. carried out its 5th deadly strike on an alleged drug smuggling boat off Venezuela. When the president was asked why he was striking the boats instead of using traditional Coast Guard operations where officers can verify who's on board, Trump claimed the Coast Guard boats weren't fast enough to keep up with drug traffickers.
They have faster boats. Some of these boats are seriously, I mean, they're world-class speedboats, but they're not faster than missiles.
The administration has provided no evidence linking the boats or the 27 people killed so far to smuggling operations, prompting criticism from both sides of the political aisle.
There's lots of people who have been designated terrorists. That does not automatically give the authority to take lethal action.
These boats may not have had any drugs on it. We will never know because they were blown to smithereens.
Meanwhile, the government shutdown is now entering its 3rd week with no insight. Already, more than 4,000 federal workers have lost their jobs during the government shutdown, and the Trump administration says that number will more than double. But a judge has ordered the administration to immediately halt those mass firings. While military troops and the FBI will still get paid, hundreds of thousands of other federal workers, including air traffic controllers, will not. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
October is National Pedestrian Safety Month, and TxDOT is reminding everyone to stay alert. The agency launched its Be Safe, Drive Smart campaign in Victoria, targeting high traffic areas. The goal is to raise awareness about safe driving and walking habits. Drivers are urged to slow down, stay focused, and yield at crosswalks, while pedestrians are reminded to follow signals and make eye contact before crossing the street.
You have the right of way. You do not want to run over pedestrian. That's a hard thing to live with, and it also is a crime if the person is in a crosswalk. So drivers, just look out. We have to share the road with all users.
TxDOT hopes the campaign will encourage safer habits and help reduce the number of pedestrian crashes statewide. It's now 6:46 on our Thursday morning. Still to come on Sunrise. A beloved holiday tradition kicks off earlier than ever in Victoria. All right, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Lydia Joe. Happy second birthday to our sweet princess. Love Mom, Dad, Cash, and the rest of your family.
Oh, happy birthday, Lydia Joe. And he may still be waiting on the world to change, but at least he won't have to wait on that birthday cake anymore. John Mayer is turning 48 today. Happy birthday, John. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, you can come to crossroadstoday.com. Just click the drop-down menu, then click the Home tab, and then you'll see Submit Your Birthday Photo.
The time is now 6:47 on our Thursday morning. I want to wish a happy birthday to Mandy, John, and Beatrice. Hope y'all are all celebrating. It's a good day for some fun people to be born.
That's right. Also a happy belated birthday to our chief meteorologist, Ms. Clovio Perez.
That's right.
Happy birthday, Mac. And happy birthday if you're celebrating today. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, Crossroads. I'm sure a lot of y'all saw this 7-day forecast a few moments ago, and you saw how our rain chances are finally back. They'll be slim, they'll be slow, they'll be pretty low. Looking at just 10% today, Thursday, and on Saturday, but 30% for tomorrow, Friday. We may see a few showers and maybe a couple thunderstorms out there, but keep your fingers crossed to see some because of all the burn bans in effect, and also just because of how dry we've been. But as we go to next week, we are finally looking at a change in our weather pattern where we've been like kind of summertime hot for a long time. We have two fronts in the forecast. One will be here Sunday night. You can see not going to do too much damage to our highs because of this. The winds will immediately return out of the Gulf on Monday, and that'll keep our highs in the 90s. But lows will be nice in the 60s. But then the next front will be here Tuesday night. That one will do some damage to our highs. We're looking at highs dropping to the low and mid 80s. And if we're really lucky, possibly upper 70s, but I don't think we're going to be that lucky because where those fronts are coming from, you can actually see it on satellite. They're coming from a couple low systems out there, low pressure systems. Here's low number 1, and here is the first front. You can see just north of that. But if we look over the Pacific, here are the other few systems that we're tracking. Here is low pressure system number 2 and low number 3. And technically there's a fourth one out there, and I can't find it for you right now, but it's out there somewhere. And it's going to be combining with our first low over the weekend time, and that's what's going to send us the first front on Sunday. But like I was saying, winds will immediately return out of the Gulf on Monday because of high pressure returning overhead, but that'll start sliding eastward and then southward as we go to next week, and that'll let our next two low pressure systems enter the picture and send us our next cold front. And we'll look at all that and more later on Sunrise.
The Salvation Army of Victoria is having its earliest start to its Red Kettle campaign. The bell ringers will start in Victoria on November 5th. They are also looking to pick up bell ringing in spots in Cuero and Hallettsville. The 40 total days of the Red Kettle campaign will be the most ever. The Salvation Army of Victoria's goal this year is to raise $75,000 in the Red Kettle campaign.
Well, this year, probably more than any, we need to be on our toes and we need to raise as much money as we possibly can because our programming has just blown up. We're doing more and more and more, and we love that. But that means we got to raise more and more funds.
The Salvation Army of Victoria is also hosting a festival and food drive this Saturday. It's the Uniting Hearts Music Festival in De Leon Plaza. The Victoria Television Group is a proud sponsor for the event. Stock markets heading into this morning. Trading is on an upswing after the S&P closed 0.4% higher. It's being driven by rising bank stocks. Both Morgan Stanley and Bank of America showed solid quarterly results. The Nasdaq closed nearly 0.7% higher, while the Dow finished essentially flat. United Airlines may be ready to fly into its best quarter ever. It now says the last 3 months of the year should see stronger demand for travel. Last week, Delta Airlines also said it expects record earnings in the next quarter. Keeping the lights on and phones powered up will cost more this winter. The Energy Information Administration now says electricity costs are expected to rise 4%, but homeowners who use natural gas to stay warm will likely see their bills stay about the same. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. A digital crackdown ignites debate about safety and practice. After a request from the Department of Justice, Meta has removed a Facebook group that shared information about ICE agents in Chicago. The group page, called ICE Sighting Chicagoland, had more than 80,000 members before it was removed. The New York Times says a Meta spokesperson confirmed the page was taken down, saying it violated policies against, quote, coordinated harm. A U.S. District Court judge has extended the temporary restraining order blocking the National Guard from being deployed in Portland. And the first temporary block was issued earlier this month. It was set to originally expire on October 18th, but the new block will hold it for another 14 days. President Trump planned to send 200 National Guard troops following protests before the block was issued. Hamas released the remains of 2 more hostages Wednesday. The IDF says they have been taken to Tel Aviv, where identification procedures will be carried out. All of the 28 deceased hostages are supposed to be turned over as part of the first phase of the ceasefire deal. Hamas said recovering the slain hostages is a challenge because of the widespread destruction in Gaza. The former Victoria police chief has a new badge as a Victoria County Sheriff's deputy. Chuck Young was sworn in as a deputy Wednesday morning. He served as Victoria's police chief starting in 2023. He resigned at the end of September, citing personal reasons. And we want to invite you to experience our new digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And now let's get a final look at our sunrise with Parker. How's it looking?
Oh, Carolina, I wish I could tell you just how beautiful it is out there this morning. I actually just stepped out the door to go look at the sunrise because right now we have nearly the perfect type of cloud cover over us this morning to provide us with what is very soon to be a beautiful sunrise out there. Right now it does look pretty pretty right now, but I promise you probably in the next 5, 10, 15 minutes or so, there's going to be a whole lot more color in the skies out there, thanks to the cloud cover providing us with some refraction in the light. Starting at the day, 66 in Victoria, pretty nice out there if you ask me. Dew point still 3 degrees off at 63, bringing us that 90% humidity. It will be falling down a little bit, but humidity is going to be back today with our Gulf winds returning. That's also going to be bringing us all the cloud cover for today, so no really need for your sunglasses. Lows, all of us starting at the day, mid 60s, except for the coastal folks. Y'all are still in the low 70s. That's thanks to the Gulf winds, but also next to the Gulf water, which is still at about 80, 81 degrees. But our high temperatures today, get a load of this, y'all. This is a sight for sore eyes, if you ask me. 86 degrees for the high today in Port Lavaca. Like I said, that's thanks to the cloud cover and also the humidity returning. Looking at mid 80s already at noontime. Inland counties, I'm thinking low 80s at noontime and a high of 87 in Victoria. Also partly cloudy, but looking mostly sunny in the late afternoon time. And the same thing in Cuero. Also a little bit warmer, 88 for the high today. But y'all get out there and enjoy this day because, like I said, I think that's pretty nice. Highs only in the upper 80s, sticking in the 80s tomorrow, but back in the 90s this weekend with sunshine. But then we got our first front that'll be here Saturday night, and then front number 2 that gets here Tuesday night, and that one should finally cool us off.
Thank you for being with us this morning. Join Shauna, Don, Maclovio, and Max today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10. Have a great day.